What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Free Spirit Tarot. I am Poetry. We are here for our set Saturday intention reading. Um, I hope everybody has been able to keep up with the intentions over the past few weeks that we have been putting out there. If you haven't, just keep trying. Mm, just keep trying. The only thing that beats a failure is a try or win. We'll win eventually if we keep trying. Get more better at it, get more practice at it, and everything. Um, this morning, the reading, I just want to see what the rest of our year may look like, what our long term goals may look like for the upcoming year, and see what type of message that we should take from what has happened this particular year that we could take into the next year. I know it's not the end of the year, but because the harvest moon is coming up on October 6th, not the harvest moon, the hunter's moon is coming up October 6th. I felt this was a good time to have this message because like what we're going to be doing is looking at all the things that we harvest throughout the year, everything that we planted, and then take a good look at it and to see exactly if things were fruitful, if something needs to be changed, some tweaks, stuff like that. So looking at what could be a long term benefit from what we've done all the year, or what could be the long term benefit we take until the next year. So I'm only going to be using the major arcana cards today, from a deck. And I don't know, for myself, the major arcana usually highlights long term goals when read by themselves. And then I'll be using my Lord of Ganesha Oracle deck to see exactly what is the specific message or messages that we have should have learned and can take into the next year. Alrighty, so I've already shuffled my deck, so I wouldn't be shuffling while driving. First, we have the Judgment card. So, what I'm seeing here with the Judgment card for a long-term goal or something that we have should have been able to benefit long-term from our intentions that we've set for the year is how to make better decisions, how to sit and think about things before we jump to judgments, before we form opinions, how to sit there and balance ourselves, become one with our own intuition, better our intuition, but essentially how we're making better judgments for ourselves. Trying to figure out where to stick these cards at. All right, the next one we have is the World coming up. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Long-term goals, long-term benefits that we are dealing with. So the tensions that we have been setting all year, even though I've been setting weekly intentions, these intentions should help us benefit through life for a longer term purpose, a longer term goal. And with that, the World card is showing us, especially in the present position, um, of the pool or the deck or the center, it's our main focus is to look at what is more beneficial for us throughout the year. So when we're looking at our harvest, and things that we've reaped, and things that we plan to continue to plant, we want to look at things that are taking us into a more long-term benefit past our weekly intentions. Yes, we want to have fun for the week. Yes, we want to sow joy for the week. We want to spend wisely for the week. But how is it all benefiting us in the long run? All right. And strength. With the strength goal, we basically, what I'm seeing here with this particular reading is that we are making the decision to follow our intuition without fear. We're stepping into um, opportunities without fear. We're leaning on courage. We're leaning on our mental strength as well as our physical strength. I'm also seeing this as well as you doing something more beneficial for your body, doing things in the long term that's helping you strengthen your body and your mind. So what we got here, I can hold these three up together in the order in which they came out. That is not the order in which they came out. In the order in which they came out. Why does it seem so difficult for me this morning? Because I shouldn't be freaking doing it while I drive. Don't tarot and drive. I forgot to give y'all that disclaimer before I started this video. Don't do what I'm doing. This is not safe and probably not, and definitely ain't within the realms of the law. Okay, so we have our judgment card, our world card, and our strength card. And as a combination, we're making better judgments for our long-term goals so we can strengthen our position. Strengthen our position in our household, in our finances, in our physical health, in our mental health, in our happiness and our peace. We are strengthening ourselves, leaning into the courage that we may not have been using. You know, we've probably been pretty timid, questionable about how things would go for us. And sometimes when we bring in those questions and those doubts, those are the things that hinder us the most. When we don't trust our own intuition and our own strength. When we don't trust in, what's the words I'm looking for, y'all? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Trusting yourself, so to speak. It's another term that I'm looking for that's not coming out. And maybe it's not meant to come out, but it's just not being able to trust that you can do it. It's a word I'm trying to say, but not being able to trust that you have the ability, that you have the right, that you deserve it. Sometimes those thoughts can hinder our progress. Sometimes those thoughts can make our harvest a tad bit weak. So when we come to looking at how we're moving throughout the year, we get stuck, we get doubtful, we procrastinate. And again, sometimes we just don't think that we're worth it. We don't think we're worth having the reward of the harvest that is due to us. So for our long-term goals and our long-term benefit of the things that we have set intentions for is to find that balance. Okay? Make better decisions about the things that are going to affect us past today, past tomorrow, past next week. Okay? And use your mental strength and fortitude to make sure that those things come to pass, as well as your physical strength, especially if you're dealing with, health issues. And some of us may have just given up, or we're thinking that we just got to ride it through. There, you will find, oh, they messed up this side of the road now too. You will find that there are things that you could do yourself within the scope of what doctors may be recommending for you that can help you along your way. Something simple as drinking water. Something simple as soaking in a bath. Standing in the rain. Sitting outside in the ground, connecting with the nature. Hugging a tree. No shit. Hugging a tree. Something as simple as those things connect us with different energies that can help heal your body. And I'm still learning. I'm still going through the process. I forget from time to time myself. And that's okay. As long as you continuously try over and over again to lean into those Lean into those aspects. Only when you give up is when you begin to die. All right, so here's our oracle. Things that we could have learned, messages that are meant to be heard for us. On these cards, it's just one word, so majority of it is going to be just me giving you deeper insight, understanding. Lean into understanding. If you don't understand how something works or how something can benefit you or how to use something, you need to study. You need to lean into it. You need to look into it more deeply. Use your intuition, use your gut, use your own wisdom, use your own life experiences to help you understand how something will affect you in the long run. Not just today, in the long run. That's what we're working on right now. This is something that we should have learned by setting those intentions this particular year so far, and how we can still use that understanding by going into the remainder of the year. Because if your harvest wasn't what you wanted it to be, you need to understand why. Positive outlook. Then we kind of just, is this the phrase I was looking for? Having a positive outlook about what your outcome will be, about what your hard work is going to take you to. Having a positive outlook. Because if you start having those doubts, you're planting the seed of doubt. You're planting the seed of procrastination. You're planting the seed of worry. So have a positive outlook, and that will carry you through and help you achieve all the intentions that you're trying to set. It help you get a little bit closer to then where you were yesterday, where you were last week, or the night before, or even last year. Have a positive outlook about these things. About that car was trying to jump in this lane. I'm gonna turn this corner. We're gonna have one more card, and we're gonna wrap up this video. One more for the road. One more for the road. Guidance. This is such a beautiful deck to me. Guidance. I want to start first with your intuition being your best source of guidance. That's your intuition. Then start to study, research, look, listen. Listen to understand. Listen to understand and not to judge. Where did that judgment card go out? Listen to understand and not to judge. Right? And then we can lean on our spiritual guides, our friends, advice or guidance, our mentor, our leadership. But we want to first start with us. We want to first start with us. So right now, from this year, the messages that we should have been gathering from all the intentions that we have set is understanding. These are just a few, because there's probably a lot more. Having a positive outlook and guidance. Where does our guidance come from? And then we're going to take these same tools, move forward into the rest of this year to complete our year. Kind of like preparing ourselves for the upcoming year, making ourselves ready. If you garden, you understand about preparing the soil. That's what we're doing with these. And then we're going to look forward to another prosperous year. That is this video for us, our set intentions. We're looking at the messages that we've learned and that we can use to keep our long-term goals intact. and keep pushing for those long-term goals so we can enjoy the short and the long-term benefits from it. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.